that's when I really started the process of like getting out of my comfort zone and being intentional about it, you know, and it's like a decision.
I love it.
And it was like just constantly doing that. And it may seem small, but it was like doing that small thing, that small step, taking those small actions every single day, taking that opportunity that's going to make you uncomfortable, but you know, after you do it, you're going to become a better person. You're going to become more confident on the other side. Those were the things that started building the foundation of me becoming an entrepreneur and actually really like, you know, finding like my highest, like, you know, version.
And this is so good. I mean, obviously we want to get into Airbnb, but if we stop right now, you bless the audience. Because there's so many folks, and you know that, you know, one day, someday, you know what I mean? And they're waiting for things to be perfect, waiting to get all their ducks in a row, you know, all the stuff that people say, don't even own a duck. Like, you don't own a duck. They're not getting in a row. You know what I mean? Waiting for my ship to come in. You don't own a ship. It ain't coming, right? So people are waiting for all these things, but you just like, hey, look, I'm just going step by step. And here's a great thing about a comfort zone is that if you expand your comfort zone and not just try to jump out of your comfort zone, by the time you look back a week, 2 weeks later, you're no longer in your comfort zone. You just push little, and that's what you say, small steps at a time.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven and family-focused and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey, what's up, Self-Talk Experience? Listen, I know what you're thinking. For those who are watching this and not just listening to this, I did not replace my wife with a co-host, right? I know you're thinking, hold up, who's my man? You replaced Tracy Self after only a few episodes. No, I did not. This gentleman sitting right next to me, I actually went to the same college as Tracy Self. And maybe that's why she didn't want to be on this one, because she thought you might know some secrets left there at Morgan State. But I'm sitting here with the one and only Kemoy Martin. Listen, man, I am so excited to have you here with us at the Self-Talk Experience. And I'm proud of you. Excited for you. And I know you guys don't know what I know yet, but you're about to find out something special about this man, not because of all the success that he's had, but because of where his heart is. And that's what's impressive. And I'm glad we got a chance to connect, man. Looking forward to with the future host for us together.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Darnell, I'm appreciative, extremely grateful to be invited here to the Self-Talk Experience. You know, I've seen a lot of the great things you've done, you know, afar. So to be able to be here and just, I don't know, provide value, just be in the presence of, you know, the experience that you provide, you know, I'm truly honored, my brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And let's share with the audience a little bit about, you know, where you're from and, you know, kind of how you grew up.
Yeah, for sure. So what's going on, guys? You know, Kemoy Martin. I was born in, you know, Kingston, Jamaica, but I was raised in Brooklyn, New York. Right. And then I traveled down to Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland specifically, to go to Morgan State University. So shout out to them, you know, my people went to Morgan or if you went to HBCU, right? And I come from a very traditional Jamaican household, right? So they're very like school orientated, right? So to be honest with you, I didn't really care to go to college, but just to kind of make them happy, I made a decision to go out there. But I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool because I left the nest. But I really wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, right? But I just, again, wanted to make them happy. So when I attended Morgan, was trying to figure out things, right? I'm kind of like growing up and maturing. I didn't really know what I wanted to major in. So I just like pick a degree.
Yeah, me too, man.
I was like, oh, well, biology and science is cool, right? Worst decision, because, you know, that's not a major that you choose out of just cause like it's hard.
Right.
Organic chemistry, crazy.
Oh man, you did that. You did that too?
Bro.
I did inorganic, organic chemistry, physics. I was a science major too.
Yeah.
Well, I was one of many majors, but yeah. Wow. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. And, you know, got graduated. Thank God. It wasn't in 4 years, but I graduated, right? That's the hope.
How many years?
Maybe 5.5.
I got you beat. I did 7.
Well, at least we finished.
We finished, didn't we, brother?
Yeah, you know, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
And after I graduated, you know, I got into the real world and I actually never found a job in my field.
Wow.
Right. And matter of fact, a fraternity brother hooked me up with a job that was like, you need a degree, but again, it wasn't in biology. So he got me a job working at Department of Social Services as a caseworker. and had a lot of student loan debt, right? And if you know anything about social work, they don't get paid much, you know? And I think social workers and people that do that, you know, that work in that realm, they're some of the most underpaid, just people that just provide so much value and service to the community. It's rough, right? And that was like the best job I can get. And the thing is, you know, I'm just literally working there just to pay bills, just to be honest. And it's like, I'm barely doing that. I'm check to check. But the interesting thing was, even though the pay was low, I was grateful because I need a job, right? Because student loans started kicking in and nobody was hiring. So it was just like, it was like a breath of fresh air. But it was like, after like a year and a half of being there, I'm like, the pay sucks. Right? And I got all the student loan debt. And it really wasn't like what I thought life was going to be. Because I remember like, you know, going through college and thinking to myself, man, I've been going to school for all these years. After I graduate, I just know life is going to be amazing. Right. I'm going to get this dream job. I'm going to make this dream salary. I'm going to have this golden family picket fence. I'm going to have my dream car, right? Travel where I want to. And it's like, I'm check to check. I'm struggling, right? I'm like, my environment is not inspirational because I'm doing social work. It's like casework inside Baltimore City, right? So I'm like driving through the trenches, you know, like the lobby every single morning is just like, not happy. People getting like choked out, like literally. Because I'm like working with people looking to get like food stamps, right, medical assistance and things like that. So sometimes things would happen, people wouldn't get their benefits on time, and people get pretty angry and want to hop over the desk and choke caseworkers out. So it got pretty crazy sometimes. You know, I'm like, you know, I'm not getting paid enough for this. But
now were most of your friends at that time kind of in the same situation?
I wouldn't say most, some. Some. But, you know, because we were recent grads, we were kind of just figuring out, like some were getting internships, you know, a few maybe started landing that like ideal job that they got. And then we're, you know, a few were like me, you know, kind of like struggling. So were you living with your parents at the time? No. So, you know, from when I left Brooklyn, because my parents were back in Brooklyn, to go to Morgan State, like I had left the nest, right? Like once I left, like I was gone forever. It just felt like amazing.
Right.
Even the thing is, even though I was struggling, even though like I did have like other like friends that were like kind of similar positions as me, and they're like, man, I can't struggle on my own. Let me go back to my parents, get a stronger foundation while I figure things out. I was so rebellious. I was like, nah, man, I left and I'm going to struggle. I'm going to figure it out. Right. That's where I was at. So.
Wow. So how long between that point and now you're, you know, the king of Airbnb, you're all over the place. I mean, seriously, if you follow this man on Instagram, and I know you see his Instagram name here on the episode, but you're not home often, right? I mean, you're all over. How many countries?
No. I just came back from my 47th country today.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, I just came back from like I love the humility, right? So where were you? Where was the last country? Peru.
Yeah, beautiful place.
Wow, I've never been to Peru. Yeah, you have to give me some tips on where to go.
For sure.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So we'll get to that, right? Yep. To the life that you're blessed to live today, and I know, and that's one of the things I love about you is your humility, right? Your spirit, and it's like you just make people, even if, you know, sometimes people got some undercover haters. I just don't even know how people can hate on you. Like, I feel like your spirit, people just want to say, man, I'm glad he's winning.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You come across that way. And that's why I'm glad you're here as a guest. And we're going to share with folks, you know, how the steps on some of the mindset it took for you to go from where you were to where you are.
Sure.
But you're how old when you're trying to figure this whole social work thing out? About how old at that point?
So I want to say I got hired at social, Department of Social Services, like around 23 years old. When I had really like hit a wall, I was about 25. Or when it would like reality actually set in, like, okay, like all the excitement, because it's funny, like when you really looking for a job and things aren't working out, and when you finally get a job, you're like excited, right? And it may not be the perfect job, but you're like, you no longer have to like worry about like your bills getting paid, your student loans. Right? But after like a year or two goes by, like reality really sits in. You start to really like get like familiar with the environment. You're like, wait a minute, like you're getting consistent. You're seeing the consistent checks, and it's like at that point you're either loving the checks or you're just not liking the checks. Anymore, right? So like reality definitely set in, and I was like, I'm not fulfilled.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't think that life would be like this. And that's when the hunger inside of me started to cultivate, you know, and I just really was trying to figure out like, okay, how can I better my situation? How can I make more? And at first I thought maybe I should go back to school, or maybe I should just, you know, get this like government job. Cause you know, if you're in Maryland, getting this federal government job is like, right. So like I was literally on like usajobs.gov, like that's the website, right? Literally applying to like 100 jobs like a day. Nobody's not hiring me. I'm like, I don't get it. Right. Like, and then I had a roommate at the time, and I thank God for my roommate because everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
Also, my fraternity brother, he had recently quit his job to start a construction business. And funny thing is, he was making about $50,000 a year. I was making $30,000. Okay. So for him to quit his job, it was like, bro, like you're way better off than me. Right. You know? But he was like, yeah, man, I must, you know, start this, you know, entrepreneurship thing. And, you know, I'm excited. And I'm like, man, like, so you just quit. And he kind of like opened up my mind to like actually not relying on a set job and actually going out there and building something. And he recommended that I read a book called Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And at that time, I hated reading books. I wasn't a reader. Like you had to force me to read books in college. But I was so dissatisfied and I was so open-minded that when he said to read this book because he said it would make a difference for me, I said, what the hell? You know? And I literally read that book literally front to back, like really fast, which is like unusual for me. But I felt like Jack was like talking to me, the author. Like I felt like Jack was really talking to me. And like I was so coachable to everything Jack Canfield said in that book. Yeah. Right. In terms of like being intentional about, you know, your goals, designing your life, getting out your comfort zone, right? Like all these things he's saying step by step to do, I was literally doing it to a T. Yeah. Even to the point where like I hated public speaking. And he talked about, listen, if you want to go out here and be an entrepreneur and build a brand, you want to get confident with your voice and presenting yourself. And he's like, you know, public speaking is definitely something that you should want to get sharper with. Yeah. And he suggested an organization called Toastmasters. And I remember Toastmasters back in Morgan. It was like I would avoid it because people would invite me like, yo, you should go do Toastmasters. Right. Like, what do they do? Nah, I'm good. So when Jack said it in the book, I was like, you know what? Let me try this Toastmasters thing. Right. Yeah. And I literally showed up like on a weekly basis and I was just refining my voice and getting more confident and just, again, being coachable. Now, hold up. You make this seem like it was like easy. No, like, bro, no. You went to Toastmasters. I started refining my voice. Like, do you remember? Yes. Like one of your first times getting in front of everybody speaking? Yes, because before I even went, I remember making the decision that if I ever had the opportunity to like volunteer for something or like to just speak, I had to push myself to do it. I remember making that decision, even walking in. Wow. So I remember like I went to the first day and at the end you had to like introduce yourself. All newcomers had to introduce themselves. And that was extremely uncomfortable. And then they asked, who wants to volunteer to do a speech the following week? And I can literally remember myself talking to myself like, listen, this is what you said. You said you were going to volunteer. And I literally felt myself like tapping myself in the back, like, raise your hand. Yeah. Raise your hand. Yeah. And I was like, I'll do it. Right. Like, I'm just like, why did I? Right. That's when I really started the process of like getting out of my comfort zone and being intentional about it. You know, and it was like a decision. I love it. And it was like just constantly doing that. And it may seem small, but it was like doing that small thing, that small step, taking those small actions every single day, taking that opportunity that's going to make you uncomfortable. But you know, after you do it, you're going to become a better person. You're going to become more confident on the other side. Those were the things that started building the foundation of me becoming an entrepreneur and actually really like, you know, finding like my highest, like, you know, version. And this is so good. I mean, obviously we want to get into Airbnb, but if we stop right now, you bless the audience. Because there's so many folks and you know that, you know, one day, someday, you know what I mean? And they're waiting for things to be perfect, waiting to get all their ducks in a row, you know, all the stuff that people say, don't even own a duck. Like you don't own a duck. They're not getting in a row. Right. You know what I mean? Waiting for my ship to come in. You don't own a ship. It ain't coming. Right. So people are waiting for all these things, but you're just like, hey, look, I'm just going step by step. And here's a great thing about a comfort zone is that if you expand your comfort zone and not just try to jump out of your comfort zone,
by the time you look back a week, 2 weeks later, you're no longer in your comfort zone. You just push little, and that's what you say, small steps at a time.
Compound
right?
effect.
That's I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So when did you quit your job?
Yep. So I'm reading Success Principles. And after I read that book, I got so fired up. I was like, man, I want to read more books. I started reading like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, reading all these different books.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur, right? Because I'm hearing all these success stories from these books, and I start looking at all these videos on YouTube and listen to podcasts, right? So I'm so grateful for the things that
thank you, man.
Your voice and the things that you do, because it's a blessing to people. And I got this bright idea to quit my job, because I started forming mastermind groups, and I got that idea from Think and Grow Rich. And I would get a bunch of my friends on a weekly basis. We would talk about business ideas. And one of my friends brings up an opportunity called wholesaling real estate. And this was around maybe April 2013. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to start a wholesaling real estate business. Because again, you can make money in real estate without having money. I didn't have money. So that was perfect, right? And by May, I promise you, I didn't even make any money in that business yet. By May, I was like, I'm gonna quit my job. And literally a couple weeks later, I went into my job, and I went to my supervisor's office, and I said, I'm gonna, I wrote her a note. I said, listen, I'm gonna August is my last month. August 2nd specifically is my last day here.
Wow.
And between that time and August, I'm working diligently, figuring it out. And I still didn't make any money with my business. But August shows up, and, I quit August 2nd, 2013.
So you had this vision.
Yeah.
And you couldn't talk yourself out of it.
No. Fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're so similar, and I didn't realize it, right? I mean, I know we had a couple of conversations, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I shared a little bit about my story. When I quit my job, not knowing what the next 10 steps look like, but that's okay. I was going to take a step.
Yeah.
And then I was going to take a step.
I was going to make it work.
Yep. And as nervous as I was about leaving the income, the predictable income at that time at my job, I was more nervous about the regret of leaving my dream behind.
Facts. Yeah. Yeah. You
know what I mean?
1000%.
And so that regret outweighed the fear. So man, it's we have so much in common here, right? Where, you're in your 20s at the time. And did you ever participate with any type of network marketing?
I did. So I quit, August 2nd, 2013. I'm still trying to figure out this real estate thing. August 3rd, another close friend and fraternity brother reaches out to me about a network marketing opportunity.
Okay.
And, I was open-minded, but I didn't necessarily have it in my mind to do network marketing. I wasn't against it, but I wasn't looking for it, but he was so, enthusiastic about it.
Right.
And the opportunity had to do with travel. And at the time, I like to travel. Right. And I needed money. Right. So I was like, you know what the heck, man? Let me just try this thing. Right.
Okay.
Try it. Right?
Okay.
And I locked my spot in. Right. And from there, I really didn't have time to play around, right? Because I didn't have this guaranteed check coming in. So literally simultaneously, I'm building this real estate thing, and I'm figuring out this network marketing thing. And every single day, I'm reading books, listening to audios. I'm so committed to personal growth. It wasn't funny because I had quit my job with $10,000 in my bank account. And I was I was not going back. 100%. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I just wasn't going to go back. And you don't know how fast $10,000 will go, after you stop working a job. It just starts dwindling.
First of all, let me say this about it. Listen, I know you all are thinking what I'm thinking right now. The average person doesn't have $10,000 in a bank account. So, you said it that shows you something. It says something about how diligent you are when it comes to finance and money, even though you said that's sort of dwindling. Yeah. But again, the average person doesn't have $1,000 in their bank account. Yeah. So again, I just kudos. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. While I was working that job, I was selling Rosetta Stones and Insanity and P90X tapes.
Oh, wow.
Hustling. That's how I got the $10,000. But anyways, so I'm trying to figure out this wholesaling and network marketing thing. Thank God, October 2013, I did my first wholesale deal, and I made $5,500. Wasn't rich, but
right.
That $5,500 meant everything to me because it was I made it on my own.
Yeah,
and that gave me so much confidence and belief to put more time, money, and energy into wholesaling. Also, I'm starting to build a team in network marketing, right? And I'm just really excited because things are starting to get, starting to progress, and I'm seeing results, and I'm seeing money, and I'm just like consistently building. I'm going to seminars, going to conferences, never missing an event.
Wow.
Right? Like I'm just consistent on just growing me. Like, and I just took it day by day, week by week, month by month. And then several years later, I was moving into a brand new apartment, and after I was really excited about this apartment, so I wanted to make it look really nice. I invited a bunch of my friends over to give them like a grand tour. And one of my friends, as I'm giving them a tour, she's looking around like, man, this would be a really cool place for an Airbnb. And I was like, okay, you should see my cowhide rug that I got. It matches my art.
Right.
I was more excited about that, but she saw an opportunity.
Now, had you heard of Airbnb at that point?
I had heard about Airbnbs. I was traveling a lot, so I was staying in Airbnbs. My friend, she already had one, so like I kind of understood how it worked. But it was like a week or two later, she ends up getting an Airbnb in my building. Wow! And I was like, she wasn't playing around. And then she shares with me that she made like $1,500 in profit, and the rent was like $1,200-$1,300. And that was a light bulb moment for me, because I was in real estate and I was looking to like be a traditional buy and hold investor, like actually like, buy a house, rent it out, be a landlord. But I had researched that the average single door rental property, yielded about like $300 to $500 a month. But yet my friend, rented a property out and made over $1,500 a month in profit. And the profits were steadily growing. And she acquired that property in literally a week or two. Wow. And that's when I got open to this whole idea called rental arbitrage, right? The ability to get a property that's more so designed for a long-term rental. We rent out the property, furnish and make it look nice, and then we can put it on platforms like Airbnb and other short-term rental sites. Nice. But the thing is, right, you want to do it with getting consent. And what I mean by that, you could do this business the wrong way. Okay. Or the right way. Okay. I did both. Okay. Right. So I could literally talk to you from both spectrums, but it's best to get permission from landlords and property managers. And that's how we acquire these properties, from landlords and property managers, so that we can have legal business. Right. And you teach all of that, right? From the beginning to actually getting the clients how to market yourself. You teach that too? Yeah, I teach the whole process. Okay. And the most important part is really creating a system, and building a team around it, so that way it can be passive income, right? Like to the point where like you don't have to clean the properties, you don't have to like actually meet guests to check them in, or you don't have to fix anything. You can literally automate the whole process. So you can literally create this cash cow, right, off of properties that you don't even have to own. Yeah. Right, which is like the best part. Because you don't have to own it, you could grow a portfolio in a relatively quick, period of time. Yeah. So I mean, and this is my own naivety, like I don't really know much about Airbnb, right? And my audience knows, I'm gonna tell you when I don't know something, like, look, I have no idea. Yeah. Right. So I'm watching this right now. And let's say I'm 35 years old. I made some mistakes in life, so my credit's not that great. Yeah. Got a little bit of money in the bank. Can I start with an Airbnb? For sure. For sure. Yeah. I mean, you can literally launch a property for about like, I want to say about $4,000, right? And you don't even necessarily have to have that all liquid personally. I mean, you can utilize creative financing, OPM, other people's money, right? And you can get into the game. Fast. Yeah. Do you drop some of those? I mean, those are some things I've learned along the way, just in terms of financial literacy. But do you also drop some of those gems as you share and teach? For sure. Yeah. And I literally have students that have gotten their first properties in like less than a week. Wow. And of course, I can't guarantee that can happen for everybody. But let's cut the cameras real quick. Let me teach me how to do that. No, I'm just playing. Like, no, that's awesome, man. And I think that's what causes me to smile the way I do when I'm hearing what you're saying. Because yes, I mean, if you don't follow this man on social media, start, because you're going to be inspired. As long as you're not a hater. If you're a hater, listen, take sips of the haterade. Don't drink it all, because you're gonna get real thirsty fast, right? So it makes me smile, and it's such an inspiration. Seriously, it is. I'm like, I love seeing you blessed the way you are, and it's your smile when you're traveling. You're like,
y'all gotta be here. This is great, right? So anyway, man, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about a little bit more about your road to passive income because you're approaching 50 different countries now. Yeah. At how old?
34.
Yeah, so we're going to come back and we're going to figure out how we can get to at least 4 countries in 2022. All right, we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Hey, Self Talk Experience family. If you want to do some great shopping and get great finds like this, follow my girl, thebrianna.k on Instagram. And if you want to shop, go here.
Hey, what's up, fam? You got to connect with J&E Builders. They buy homes in any condition. J&E Builders even help out with distressed properties. And if you're dealing with a significant amount of taxes, J&E Builders will assist you with that home as well. Give them a hit at J&E_builders. That's at Instagram at J&E_builders. So author and trainer Monty Sanders has been in this health and wellness space for over 20 years. His most notable clients are NFL Hall of Famers Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. And guess what? He's got an Amazon best-selling book that you can gain access to right now. It's The Power of You versus You. I'm going to tell you right now how you can get access to that and his other programs. All you have to do is go to thepowerofyouversusyou.com. That's it. Thepowerofyouversusyou.com to get access to that amazing book as well as all of his other programs. Hey, what's up, Self-Talk Experience family? Listen, I thought I was going to get some bathrooms renovated, but I had no idea when I connected with my man Stan Neal that it would be more than a renovation. I'm not even sure what the term should be. Maybe transformation, because I started with the bathrooms and all of a sudden my entire basement was redone in a way that my family members thought I moved. Seriously. So if you're looking to take your house to the next level, whether it's some custom construction, some transformation of your bedroom, your bathrooms, your family room, your great room, I did it all. I mean, if I showed you my entire house before and after pictures, in fact, I'm going to show you some, you would say, no way is that the same room or the same house. Listen, I'm just saying this because I've got personal experience with this gentleman. So you want to connect with him, I'm going to give you the number, his office number to reach him, as well as email. And again, you will not be disappointed. So if you want to reach him via his office number, 202-359-3923. Again, 202-359-3923. And email is Stan, STAN.Neal, NEALJR, at freshairllc.com. Connect with my man Stan. You won't be disappointed. Hey, listen, so Kemoy actually has a course right now that you can take. So you don't even have to wait for the challenge. So if someone wants to take the course, we're going to drop that right below. And that course teaches them what?
Step-by-step how to build a 6-figure plus Airbnb business without owning any property. So if you're serious, not curious, you can tap in right now.
Let's do it. Tap in, guys. Man, so this is exciting, man. Congratulations. So from the time you got your first property to now, how much time is that? How much time has gone by? Is that 7 years?
From as far as when I first got into Airbnb?
Yeah,
Gosh, I got in 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, so
about 5
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going on 5 years. Yeah. Good stuff, man. All right, so this is almost 5 years of learnings, right? Mistakes, right? Things you're like, that could have been better. Maybe not a mistake, but like that could have been a little bit more profitable. Yep. I could have figured out a better system. Could have leveraged myself even more. Yeah. So if there were, I don't know, 2 to 3 things
for sure, that
the Kemoy Martin who you are today, with how many Airbnb properties do you have? You mind me asking?
14 currently.
14. All right. So, man, that just made me smile again. So, what would you share with the Kemoy Martin who's just getting started now, 5 years prior to knowing that you've had all this experience?
Well, the biggest thing would be, again, getting permission and consent from landlords or property managers. And the reason why I say that is because when I first got started, I was just renting out properties, like just not even asking questions.
Wow.
And believe it or not, a lot of people actually do that. And I don't talk down on people or bad about people doing it because I get it. I did it. You don't know what you don't know.
Okay.
Right. But after doing it that way and, it just, getting kicked out of properties, and it's just like, it's just not fun, and it's also not a real business, and because you're just kind of every day you're just hoping you don't get caught, right? But after getting kicked out a couple of times, I said to myself, I like this business model. I love the fact that I can create income doing this. Why don't I do it the right way? Why don't I start building relationships with landlords, with property managers, actually having them understand the dynamics of my business, so that way we can create long-term businesses and build some relationships to the point where these landlords and property managers know exactly what I'm doing. So now, let's just say I have an apartment inside in a building, and they understand what I'm doing. Every time there's vacancy in the building, they'll be willing to give me more units. And that's the power, because, in one building, I have about 8 apartments inside that one building.
Okay.
And every time there's vacancy, every time somebody moves out, I'm the first person they call.
Wow.
Because we built a great relationship.
That's so good, man.
My business model. Right. Now, matter of fact, one of these owners, they've actually recently asked me if I want to acquire the building. Right. And they're trying to find a creative way to make that happen. So, it's cool to have options like that.
I love that. So you're renting an apartment.
Yep.
And the landlord knows that, hey, this is short-term rentals through Airbnb.
Yep.
So you're very transparent.
Yep.
And they actually love that you are there.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Because listen, I'm the ideal tenant. I'm paying on time. I'm extremely consistent. If you've ever stayed in an Airbnb before, typically it's really nice. Like Airbnb hosts, short-term rental entrepreneurs, they literally keep properties in for sale condition because they want 5-star reviews. They're getting the property professionally cleaned, right? A regular tenant isn't
That's
doing
so
that.
true, man. I didn't think about that.
They're not doing that.
Yeah.
Right. So again, this is actually a business, an asset for us.
Yeah.
Even though we don't own it, it's still an asset. It's making us money. So we're just that ideal tenant that a landlord wants.
Man.
Right. So it's pretty cool.
So hold on. So like, this is like, I mean, smiling again. I don't know if I smiled this much with any of my podcasts. All right. So are any of these properties that you own, or all of them you do this way?
All of them rental arbitrage. I lease these properties. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This changes the game, man. Oh my God. This is why you don't need but a whole bunch of money. It's not like you're putting 20% down on some big mansion.
Yep. Because the thing is, all that money that you would put down on buying a property, you can literally get several, rental properties, right? You can rent these out and create such a much higher, cash flow. It's nuts. It's nuts. So I don't knock buying properties.
No. And I don't think you are. Yeah, I don't think you are. I don't hear that.
But just the cash flow from rental arbitrage and the ability to do it without having to have a lot of capital, it's amazing.
So when did you say to yourself, hold on, this is like, because it had to be a point. Like you said, when you earn your first $5,500, you were like, okay, there was your belief check. You were like, okay, you're doing this, man, on your own without your parents.
Yeah.
With Airbnb, when did it start to hit you like, hold up, this is going to be bigger than I even thought?
Yeah, I want to say after I got like 2 properties, and this was another mistake that I made. I was cleaning the properties myself because I was being cheap. Right. And what I'll tell you is true business owners, they work on their business, not in their business. And I was making that mistake of working in my business. But once I got to the point where I couldn't even clean them all, because I think I got to like my 3rd one. And it was like one Sunday I wanted to like go to church, but I couldn't because I had to clean all these properties. That's when I was fed up.
Right.
And my friend was like, hey, why don't you just hire a cleaner? We have a old college friend that has a cleaning business. And I was like, let me do that. And once I hired her, that changed the game even more, because I was like, I started seeing the money coming in, and I wasn't even cleaning the properties. Like, a matter of fact, I wasn't even like physically there at all. And then from there, like, I really started understanding, wow, I need to really build a team, because then I can really make this passive. And from there, that's when I really got excited about it, because it was no longer just making the money.
Yeah.
Now I was making the money and having the freedom.
Yeah, leveraging yourself. All right, so that brings up another question. I have to ask this one. So obviously having a cleaning company, right, helped you to leverage yourself. Yep. What other addition to the team helped you to leverage yourself?
Getting a handyman, right? Getting somebody boots on the ground. So like, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be like literally the battery in the smoke detector, like dying, so it keeps beeping. Like, it could be like the couch falling apart, or the bed being broken, or just whatever.
Yeah.
The walls need to get repainted. just to the point where it doesn't matter what it is. I never have to physically go there because I have somebody that can show up.
Yeah.
That like there's one of the most important components.
Yeah,
for sure.
And do you teach this, right? I know I keep asking, right? Because I'm just thinking like, if you're saying, hey, look, guys, I'm telling you, these are the 5 members of the team you got to have.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I teach you exactly, who you want on your team, how to find them, and how to weave them in like into a system that works.
I'm only asking you questions that I would want somebody to ask me. That's why I hope you don't feel like I'm like interrogating you. You know what I mean? But I would want somebody to ask me that in my profession. Do you teach this? Do you teach how to onboard? Do you teach people how to keep retention? Right? I would want somebody to ask me that. So that's why I'm asking, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is so good. Yeah. All right. Here we go. I know you're about to fly out to your 48th country, but let me ask you this one, man, because I thought that I was a traveler until I started following you on Instagram, because people tell me all the time, dude, where are you now? You all over the place. And I want to say, let me just send you somebody's profile real quick. This is traveling. And dude, the yacht you were just on was ridiculous. Yeah, you enjoyed yourself, didn't you?
Man, crazy experience.
Oh, man. So out of all these places that you've been, which may be hard to pick one or two, what would you say are your 1 or 2 favorites?
Maldives for sure. Like Maldives is like a dream.
What about Maldives?
Man, I've never seen water so blue. The level of just top tier experience. We stayed at the Ritz-Carlton in Maldives. That, man, I've seen a lot of different like resorts, but like the Ritz-Carlton in Maldives, you feel like what's that, Coming to America?
Yeah,
Prince Hakeem.
Yeah,
like, you feel like it's
you just sit. Yeah.
Man. There in Bali.
Okay.
Yeah, those probably like my top 2 right now.
Okay.
Bali just all.
Did they put down like rose petals for you to walk on?
Damn near. Right? Matter of fact, in the room, yeah. Like I have to come and think about it. There was rose petals in the room, right? It was crazy.
That is so awesome, man. That is so awesome. And was, throughout your travels, obviously, we talked about Bali too. It's got to be amazing to experience these different cultures.
Yeah.
Right, different languages. It's an exposure that, because it's not about look at me, I'm able to do this. I would imagine that it has inspired so many people who do like to travel to say, how can I gain more passive income?
Sure.
Right. And so then we get an opportunity. That's why the self-talk experience is so great, because it gives people an opportunity to say, hey, if I could shift, because I love this, man. You start off with personal development, personal growth. If I can shift the way I think and put myself in position where I now think differently so I can attract differently. And as I attract differently, I can do different things that I couldn't have done before I attracted the means to be able to do those things. And once I do those things, it puts me in a position to be an inspiration to others. And if whatever I do can duplicate, meaning other people can do it, now I can go back and feed and teach other people so they can eat too.
100%.
That's you, man, all day long.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for what you do. And I know, I don't know if you have an Airbnb course coming up, but if so, we'll drop it in, and we may even strategically release this when you have that course coming up, because I want people who are interested, or not, and just like in my business, not everybody is interested in everything. And the wonderful thing about abundance is that you never have to worry about, because someone else is winning, you might be losing. We can all win together. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. 100%.
So when you release that, just hit me up. Let me know.
I got you.
Whenever you decide you're going to do that. So we'll make sure we put the details right here so that folks can take that course from you for those who are interested. And hey, man, I'm looking forward to it. I know a couple of folks, including my sons, who are going to be first in line for that.
I love to see it, man. I always love seeing people tap into just entrepreneurship, but also especially, when it comes to Airbnbs, because a lot of times people, they think it's hard or complex, right? But once people really get in and they get involved and they see how simple it is, and I just love to see it, just entrepreneurship in general. I love to see people just take
me
action
too. Me too.
Something.
What are your parents saying now?
Man, they're happy.
Yeah.
They're happy. My mom's always reaching out to me like, hey, what country are you in?
Yeah.
Love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels good. Right now, my mindset is I want to retire them.
Yeah. So, oh, that's so awesome, man. Yeah. Did they know that?
I haven't told them that.
Okay. So hopefully they don't watch this one.
Yeah.
So if not, this is mom, dad.
Yeah.
There you go. Right. And that's love, man. I love that. Yeah. It says a lot about you too. Yeah. Congratulations. Thanks for being on, bro.
Thank you, my brother.
Appreciate you, man.
It's my honor.
And this has been another episode of Self Talk. I didn't get rid of my co-host. She'll be back. But just remember, the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determines what and even who we attract for ourselves. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the Self Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.
If you've ever started something and said to yourself, I'm not quitting until I reach the finish line, there's a perfect podcast for you. The We Won't Quit podcast by my man, Mike Humes, mailman and millionaire, never gave up. Not only did he have success, but he's helped a ton of other people do the same thing. He's going to be interviewing people who never stopped until they finish. So check it out. We Won't Quit podcast. If you've ever started something and said to yourself, I'm not quitting until I reach the finish line, there's a perfect podcast for you. The We Won't Quit podcast by my man, Mike Humes, mailman and millionaire, never gave up. Not only did he have success, but he's helped a ton of other people do the same thing. He's going to be interviewing people who never stopped until they finish. So check it out. We Won't Quit podcast.